and a very warm welcome to the Economic Times Business Verticals presents ET Studios India AI Dialogue, brought to you by Kyndryl. I'm your host Divina Lasson, bringing you all the exclusive coverage from the India AI Impact Summit 2026. Now, in banking today, AI is no longer experimental, it's shaping decisions, experiences, and trust at scale. To explore how data leadership is evolving in this new reality, we are joined by Balaji Narayanmurthy, Chief Digital Officer at IndusInd Bank. Balaji, a very warm welcome to ET Studios. Thank you so much for joining us today. Such a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks, Davina. Pleasure is mine.
Yes.
Great event, lot of energy, lot of people,
Absolutely.
lot of things happening.
Yes, absolutely. And this is an opportune moment, really to sit with someone like yourself from the banking sector and understand all the various aspects of how AI is impacting this industry specifically, but also the challenges that you're facing, right? So, just at the onset, it would be great to understand how, of course, when we look at legacy infrastructure, this certainly is a system that would pose certain constraints to AI and everything that AI comes with. How are banks really modernizing the core system to ensure that there's a smooth adoption of AI, also not disrupting the business factor at all in the transition? Surely there are many moving parts here. So, what would be the approach?
Yeah, thanks, Davina. Great question. See, Indian banks started their core banking modernization back in 2000. So their core banking tech is not all that legacy relative to some of the foreign banks which started in 1980. So you'll find mainframes, COBOL, Pascal code there. Indian banks, not so much. But having said that, you do have some legacy tech. But over the last 10 years, even prior to the AI boom, Indian banks have been progressively modernizing their technology infrastructure. All the newer platforms like your digital banking, net banking, digital lending journeys, your video KYC journeys that you might have gone through, these all have been built as fully modern cloud native applications sitting on top of core banking and communicating to core banking through what you call the SOA architecture via APIs that have been a gold standard for this kind of work over the years. So that's given us a good foundation. Of course, with the advent of AI, it has put the emphasis on a modern and clean architecture to a different level. Related to this technology is also your, how your data lakehouse, your data warehouses and data stack is. IndusInd Bank, for example, has a fully modern cloud native AI lakehouse, and it depends on when you start your journey. But fundamentally, it is all about having a vision of an end state architecture that is in sync with your business problems and the latest technology. And then there is a starting point. The third piece is how do you move from your starting point to the end state vision in a gradual manner, because this is a running engine, it's a moving train, you have a business to take care of. But fundamentally, it's about having the vision, knowing where you are, and having calibrated steps from where you are to the end state vision architecture. And it's very much possible. Banks have showed that they have been doing it for the last 10 years, and they will continue to do that for the next 10 years.
All right. Thank you for laying out that blueprint. And now, if you really deep dive into it a bit, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges, though, the really critical challenges that Indian banks specifically are facing that must be addressed, must be resolved before AI is truly embedded into every aspect of the enterprise?
Yeah, so there are multiple challenges: talent, technology, the legacy infrastructure that you talked about. But the one big thing I would say is re-engineering the processes to take full advantage of
Okay.
AI. So the bank's processes, like any other large institution, have been built over a period of time. They have been built for the technology and the processes and people of a particular time, and they operate in a certain way. But once you bring in AI into a process, to take full benefit, you have to
Yes,
reimagine. It's
yes.
not just about plugging AI into a particular segment of the process. It's about thinking end to end
Absolutely.
in the value chain of delivery of value from the bank to the customer, and how you embed AI there. I think that re-engineering, process re-engineering, I think is the most, I wouldn't say difficult part, is the most complex part, where
Yes.
maximum energy has to be spent. Of course, there is talent, there is skills, there is technology, but I would say this re-engineering is one of those things where we are spending a significant amount of
Okay.
our energy and bandwidth.
So what would it take actually to do exactly this? To have AI so much embedded in the core processing, the really core decision-making processes as well within the bank. I mean, really, what is that gap that we are trying to fill? How far are we from that point?
See, the key thing is the executive sponsorship, and the good thing is most banks, including IndusInd, the CEOs are fully realized and very bullish on the use case for AI in their respective organization. There's a lot of leadership coming into AI right from the top. In every one of our reviews, we get pushed on what is the AI use case we are doing, what is the value we are generating, how are we developing productivity by using AI within each one of our process. So I think that's really the starting point, and thankfully we have it in IndusInd Bank. We are following a two-track process. One track is we are creating AI Center of Excellence, whose job it is to anchor these initiatives, the top 10 AI initiatives for the bank. Firstly, identify them, then anchor them, make sure we realize value for the cost we put in. So that is a centralized team that's going to drive it. Then we also have the second track of letting 1,000 flowers bloom. Not be 1,000, for at least 100 flowers bloom, meaning 100 use cases, small use cases that are driven locally by the various departments. They will leverage the COE in terms of capability, learning, training, but there'll be some 100 odd use cases they will drive on their own. And there'll be a central team that'll be focused on the big buck use cases, as well as developing the capability and the operating model. Through this, we hope to make it fully embedded in the way we operate and become an AI native bank over a period of time.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. And again, we're here at the India AI Impact Summit, truly the first of its kind, especially in our country. What do you think is the importance of summits like this? And are there any, certain marks, goalposts that you also wish to see come through as a result of this summit?
See, it's very exciting. We are doing that these days. Everything, every event, every conference, every business meeting, even the discussion at home.
Yeah.
Me and my wife talk about how she's using AI to plan the vacation.
Yes.
We went to Amritsar recently, and the itinerary was all from AI, and maybe sometimes very soon booking will happen from AI. But fundamentally, for a country like ours, see, we have a lot of problems to solve, and if you think about it, financial inclusion for my industry is a reasonably solved problem, but there are pockets like small business lending where we are yet to have full inclusion, and AI can play a big role in making that happen. But outside of banking as well, when you think about the country as large, education is a big area where we still have large parts of the country where we may not have quality schools, teachers. AI can potentially replicate the best teachers of the country and make it available to students across the country in every corner. So I think that, so education, medical care, we all went through the troubles during COVID and realized the shortfalls of our medical infrastructure. How can AI play a role in making diagnosis faster, better for people? Discovery of drugs happens faster, so it becomes cheaper. Fundamentally, how do we drive productivity in all the important areas of our country, including finance, which is the industry I come from, but also education, medicine, transportation, which are some of our core issues that we face as a country. And if AI can be put to purpose in solving those problems, that will help us get towards a Viksit Bharat vision that we would like to get to. And this is an important prerequisite. Without it, we are not going to get the productivity needed to become a developed country.
Sure, absolutely. Wonderful. And before we wrap up this segment, is there any key takeaway that you leave our viewers with when it comes to, the most significant factor that especially those in the banking sector should really think of when it comes to fully integrating AI into the enterprise?
See, banking, so I'm a banker, I've spent all my career here, also a technologist. Banking, first and foremost, is a trust business.
Yes.
You are dealing with people's money, and you want to ensure that money is always safe. So AI is to be in the service of that. Yes, we want innovation. Yes, we want all the good and cool things, but we don't want to forget that all this innovation in the service of banking, which is a business of maintaining trust.
Yes.
So that principle means as you do use cases, you need to make sure that you are doing risk management. You are not letting the model decide what you are doing. Yes, the model will do, but you are responsible for what you do, what the outcomes are. You are tracking, you are checking around the biases and execution errors that can happen. You are thinking about explainability, you are thinking about observability. So overall risk management, governance, basic things, but super important in banking AI.
Yep, yep, absolutely. Wonderful, Balaji. Thank you so much for being here. It's been such a pleasure having you here on ET Studios. Thank you for sharing all your insights.
Thanks, Savina. Pleasure being
hope
here
to
with
see
you.
you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right, on that note, what stands out is that the real power of AI in financial services lies not just in efficiency, but in responsibility, trust, and transformation. Do stay tuned to Economic Times Business Verticals presents ET Studios India AI Dialogue, brought to you by Kyndryl for many more in-depth conversations. Until next time, from the entire team, many thanks for watching.